EduTrainer Workshops, the insurance industry's leading education and training platform, presents Life Insurance, the entry-level series, the products, the underwriting, and the planning applications to position your practice as the premier provider of insurance products in your community. Get on board, get on track, get to where you're going. And now, your EduTrainer National Insurance columnist, Steve Savant.
Hello everyone, I'm Steve Savant. I'm your EduTrainer and coach for our EduTrainment workshops about entry level into life insurance. And we're on episodes this week 11 through 16, and the title for this one is called Data Collecting for Life Insurance. And it's brought to you by our sponsor, Lincoln Benefit Life, an Allstate company, and we're actually using Lincoln Benefit Life software, which we voted as the #1 user-friendly software to teach life insurance. And we're going to be getting to that in a couple weeks. We've been laying the foundation. This section or this series is called The Foundations of Life Insurance. And you want to go out there and pull down and download their software, because in the weeks to come, we're going to go through this, and I want you to go with me page by page. It's a great learning tool, and it'll help your learning curve in life insurance increase. Just hop out to their site, www.lblsales.com/ETW. That's lblsales.com/ETW. And remember, we're also giving away our life insurance manual with vocabulary. So it really helps you, and you say, Steve, I need that. Just order it, thebiz@brokersalliance.com. That's thebiz@brokersalliance.com, and we'll be happy to send it to you. I think it's a huge boon for your learning curve, and it'll really help you walk with us and say, oh, I remember Steve talking about that page, and it's in your manual. Well, today we're talking about data collecting. Data collecting for life insurance. The first thing I want to know is, what is my client's personal net worth? I want the global view. And so when I'm looking at net worth, I want to be able to sit there and say, here, I have to talk to my client about why do I need to talk about this? And here are some of the reasons to prepare a net worth statement. I need to keep score. An annual net worth statement allows an individual to keep track of their progress from one year to another, especially if they have medium to long-term goals. So I always tell my client, you have to have goals. They can't always be immediate. They have to be somewhat medium and long-term goals so that you can adjust your budget, your net worth. What this does is it keeps a great score. My CPA always does my taxes, and he shows me this year's tax, the previous 2 years. I can always see a kind of a short, how did I do? How much did I pay in taxes? Am I still managing my taxes? It's a great year-to-year review. This is an excellent to create a personal net worth to keep score. It's also a planning tool, which is why I like it. I want to be able to look at a person's total net worth. I can look at it from a retirement point of view, a state point of view, if it's a business, the business succession, the business health that is actually current today. Is it profitable? Is it got problems? Is it a cash flow item? A lot of these things will help me. Lenders ask for this for individuals as well as businesses. It's a banking practice. So in my view, I want to be able to have a net worth statement that I've already created so that I can walk through some of the basic issues of what I'm going to need for life insurance. And then another one, for certain investments, you have to have certain amounts of liquidity, cash. You have to have suitability issues. So many times a personal net worth statement, even for certain investments, is an absolute necessity. Preparing a net worth statement, you're going to need to get all your assets together. Now, I always look at everything. I'm talking about personal things at home, jewelry, cars, my clothes, my grand piano sitting in my front room, all these things. I want to get all my total assets, my savings accounts, my retirement accounts, my money inside my cash value policy, any monies I have, and I might want to add, if I know I'm going to have accounts receivable from an inheritance or anything like that, even if I'm having a big tax return sent to me, anything, I want to be able to account for it and list it in my assets. I also have to list all my liabilities. So whatever I owe, no matter what I think it is, and especially if I have, maybe I'm paying my children's student loans off myself, if I'm paying any kind of mortgage, car payments, my card payments, any obligation that I have that is financial, that is actually a cost to doing business or living, I'm going to list as liabilities. Now here is a personal net worth sheet. It's not the all in all and it's not everything, but if you say, Steve, I really like this and I would love to have this for my own home, just go ahead and write me at thebiz@brokersalliance.com. That's THEBIZ at brokersalliance.com, and I'll send you this. Again, this is all part of our package. So when I look at this, I put the name, the data, I prepared it, and then I walk through an itemized list, kind of a small list here of assets and liabilities to determine net worth. It is possible, by the way, that you could have a negative net worth, where your liabilities were greater than your assets. Hopefully that's not the case. Now, when I'm looking at liquid assets, I want to know what's in my money market account, what's in short-term CDs, cash I can get to that's just sitting in maybe small savings accounts or even in my checking account just to keep things liquid. I want to know about my cash equivalents. It could be longer-term CDs. They could actually be in life insurance for all I know. I just want to know, where are my cash equivalents? I also want to know money owed me, accounts receivable, who owes me? And if you're a family and you have a family like I do, somebody always owes you money. So you just want to look at who owes you money. And then again, life insurance cash values. They're huge because remember, you can usually take that money out, policy loans, tax-free. And then I want to take any other liquid assets, and that becomes my total liquid assets, what I can get my hands on, the money I can get on right away. Then I want to look at personal used assets. Personal resident, what's my house worth? My house use assets, my furnishings, my grand piano. Autos and other vehicles, my recreational vehicles, my auto, I want to know all that. If they're free and clear, no problem, that's great. That's a big asset. Collectibles, I may have art, antiques. My wife has tons of antiques, so they're valued at something. And then I look at things like personal used assets. I might have other things. Maybe I have a baseball card collection. Maybe I collect Star Trek memorabilia. Whatever it is, whatever asset that could be turned into cash, I want to know what those personal use assets are. And then investment assets. I want to know what I have in the stock market. I want to know, is it qualified or non-qualified? I want to know, do I have fixed asset income? Maybe I'm in a bond portfolio. I also want to look at investment in real estate. Not only the household that I own, but do I have rental property? Do I have other places where I am renting out condos? Do I have apartments? Do I have any kind of real estate that is not my primary resident? I want to list that there as an asset. And then I also want to look at business interests. What percentage do I own of this company? Maybe I own half this company. Maybe I own 25%. That is an asset, and I'll want to be able to attach that. And of course, later on, you'll want to do a business net worth. We'll get to that in a moment. Then I want to look at commodities. Maybe you're doing corn futures. Maybe you're like the big gold rush now. Everybody's been buying gold lately, although not too lately because it's been depressed a little bit. But you might be heavy metal purchaser, platinum and silver and bronze, but mostly gold right now. And another area, vested portion. How about your pension plans, vested? And by the way, when you're putting that asset in there, remember, if you're old enough like I am, I already know what my Social Security numbers are at age 62, at age 66, and my age 70. Even though it's income, that's going to be an income asset. And if I was trying to put an equivalent on what the government said they're going to pay me through Social Security, that could be a big number. Not necessarily showing up on this statement, but I might want to just mark it in parentheses to say, hey, this is what I got coming in as part of my pension plan. My IRAs, my Keogh plans, any other assets I want to list on this side. Now remember, if I had autos as part of mine, have I paid it off, or do I actually have auto payments? I have my home on this side, but do I actually have a mortgage? So remember, some of these assets we still may be paying on. So you want to list that entire list of assets, and then all my liabilities, whether it's rent, utilities, credit and charge cards, taxes due, other current liabilities that are on this list. And then you want to be able to total all those and get your long-term liabilities like a home or a 5-year payment on a car. These are all long-term. Educational payback loans, student loans that are long-term, margin account loans that you're using for investment. And you may want to look at business loans, especially medium to long-term. All those should be on this list so that you can calculate, I'm going to take my total assets, subtract my liabilities, and that's going to give me my net worth. Now, I have a whole list here of explanatory notes that you can walk through and be able to discuss with a client so that you're up to speed on the vocabulary that we use when we're in a first contact scenario with a client or a second meeting. This is excellent, and it'll help you walk through the basic definition. And if you had to give it to your client, that would be pretty cool too. The Facts of Your Life. It's a personal record book. This is put out by our sponsor, Lincoln Benefit, an Allstate company. This is an excellent tool because it actually will cite things that you should see that gives you the ability to read and record everything in your personal portfolio. And in this, you'll notice it has a complete, if I can get to it, here's part of the table of contents. And all it does is it's going to list how to use this as a journal, family essentials, your personal documents. That means policies, all policies that you have need to be in your personal document file. It's essential documents, things that you're going to use all the time. I know that all my stuff is in a safety deposit box because I don't want to take a chance on my house maybe burning down and I lose that. Anything that's important, birth certificates, again, marriage certificates, policies, all in final essentials, including my will, my documents for my trusts. Everything needs to be collected, and this actually does that for you. It actually gives you a final arrangement page. Who's the funeral person going to be? It assigns all the things you want to have done, what cemetery you want to be buried in. Everything can be there, including if you want to write your own obituary, which I think is a little bit egocentric, but I guess if you'd want to do that, you could do it. And the safety deposit box inventory, where you have a list of everything that's in your safety deposit box, and you have that so you can get to it, and that your beneficiaries and your trustee know exactly where that is. And then, of course, all your contacts, your children, your grandchildren, your business associates, friends, people that you want to keep apprised of your condition. And then a survivorship guide. How are we going to go forward in budgeting? If something happened to me, my budget's already laid out. It's easy on an Excel spreadsheet. They can go to it. They can see what I've been doing. It'll be very easy to do it. And I recommend once a year that you just meet with your family members to let everybody know what's going on financially and to keep them apprised so they can go right to it in case you have an unexpected death. Personal and financial security, any of those ideas. When I die, here's going to be a death benefit. You'll be able to pay off the mortgage with it. I want you to do this and that with it. You'll be able to dictate and guide from the grave some of your ideas and the additional sources for help. All this is in this document. And using this journal, I've noticed that this is a complete. We can either send you the hard copy or we can send you the electronic version. Either way, you'll want to keep this journal in a safe place. All your certificates, your decrees, everything we talked about, we want to be able to use this. The importance of a will, all the things we've been talking about this week. Doable power of attorney, here's a big one too. What happens with healthcare directives and who's going to make the call if I say, you know what, I'm just not going to recover. I don't have any sine waves in my brain activity. Is somebody going to pull the plug and who's going to make that call? So you definitely want to be able to do that. Family essentials, again, all the contact information, things that I didn't even think about, I have to say was in this book, and this is a great thing, The Facts of Your Life. Again, it can come in hard copy or it can come in an actual attachment that can be emailed. Just order it, thebiz@brokersalliance.com. And this is Lincoln Benefit, our sponsor. We'll send this to you. This is our credit card, Family Essentials. Again, we're just going through some of the basic ideas that this has so that you can use it. And it has even issues like your agent, your trustee, all this information so that you can keep everything in one book, because it's actually a small mini book if you get the hard copy. And why do we recommend this? Because these are all talking points of life insurance. And in the talking points that we're talking about in this episode, it's important that we record and document. Good planning is good documentation. If I have solid written plan, I know my plan will come to fruition. I don't want to guess about it. I don't want it to be on a napkin. I want to be able to take it. And using the Facts of Your Life book is a great collection. It even asks questions like, who do you want to be your pallbearers and who are their backups? What happens if all my friends who would be pallbearers, we're all 80 something when we're not going to be able to live? We need a secondary team. I know it sounds a little bit morbid, but that's the facts of your life, and that's what will support the talking points of life insurance.
This has been an EduTrainment Workshop, the educational division of the National Insurance Clearinghouse, the marketing arm of Brokers Alliance, and sponsored by Lincoln Benefit Life, an Allstate company.